Yo, what up, what up? Top of the top, episode 169, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And just an episode, saw some topics you may want to hear about. Salute to you as well. Like, share, subscribe, retweet. Everything you do to help support the podcast. I greatly appreciate it. YouTube viewership, whatever streaming platform, audio-wise, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor app. All that good stuff, man. Keep on listening, keep on subscribing, man, putting your people on. Thank y'all for the support. Not going to keep y'all here long today. No hour-long episode, man. Just going to be quick in and out, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? But to start, I want to let y'all know a documentary I watched last week, man. ESPN 30 for 30, last Tuesday. The greatest mixtape ever, man. Talking about the culture of streetball, man, how it coincides with the NBA nowadays, hip-hop music, of course. And I was ready for it, man. I'm a huge fan of streetball, especially when I was growing up. The And One mixtape tour, specifically, you know what I'm saying, all those guys, Hot Sauce, Ayo, Skip to My Lou, Main Event, The Professor, all that. So I was ready for this. And basically the documentary, like I said, early streetball in terms of the Rucker Park, the world-famous Rucker Park up in New York. It was good enough, in my opinion, the documentary. It became an instance of what I wanted versus what I expected versus what I got. You know what I'm saying? Tragically, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted strictly an And One documentary. And I'm thinking this is going to be the And One 30 for 30. Because, you know, 30 for 30 track record, they can give you great documentaries in terms of sports. You know what I'm saying? Deion Sanders, The U, Part 1 and 2, The Bad Boys, Reggie Miller in Madison Square Garden. So their track record had me thinking, okay, this is going to be the And One 30 for 30. And the last 30 minutes of it was basically, because the first 30 minutes just feel like I saw rappers, writers, NBA players, which I wasn't mad at, you know what I'm saying, talking about street ball, how they came up watching it, the effect they had on them. You got some great sound bites from like Kyrie Irving when he was like, he damn near had to sneak and watch And One because his dad didn't want his mind to be on that, because that was the whole thing for me. And I think that was the best part of the documentary as a whole, how it connected And One then versus the effect it has on players nowadays. Because when And One was popping, like I said, early 2000s, mid 2000s, you had a couple players in the league that, you know, so you could see that in terms of like they swag and all that. That's Allen Iverson all day. Like Allen Iverson probably influenced them. You know what I'm saying? Like Allen Iverson, you saw it in him. White Chocolate, of course, Jason Williams, he definitely had that swag of an And One player. In terms of his passes, out throw Steve Nash in there. Dunk-wise, of course, Vince Carter, Jason Richardson, Richard Jefferson. You saw it in those guys as well. But nowadays, it's way more. You see way more shake and bake than you did back in those days in the NBA. Like you see Kyrie Irving, what he doing, Ja Morant, what he doing, Steph Curry, what he doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the effect that And One had then versus now, I like how they came about and put that together, because that was the whole thing with And One. Like I said, the first 30 minutes was just about that. And the last 30 minutes, they really got into the And One part, which is what I really wanted to see. They talk about the first two mixtapes, how the DJ, he was watching the tapes, like VHS tapes for people who may not be, you know what I'm saying, aware. VHS tapes, he watching it on TV while scratching and coming up with the beat selection and all that to go with the moves, to go with the dunks, the alley-oops, all that good stuff. And like I said, man, And One of those days, man, I still call them hood celebrities, the hood superstars, man. Like, you saw it on the mixtapes, you saw it on ESPN, man. Every city they pull up to, they bring the whole hood out to the park. Eventually the arenas, man, like their whole movement was dope to me. And to see that come and go like it did before the social media boom, like that's the crazy thing. It wasn't like, okay, we see now Instagram, you can just search anybody and they doing tricks and all that, TikTok and all that. But then we barely even had MySpace. So I was like, yo, what's the funds? I'm like, you got to, even back then I was thinking on the business, man. I'm like, yo, you funded basically by ESPN. So what happened? And basically they said, in their opinion, the people who was over And One, not necessarily the players, but the people that was over And One felt like it became too jokey after the first season on ESPN, which looking back at it now, you're saying, okay, was that fake or real? I think after maybe the third season on ESPN, I personally start feeling like that because the reason why I don't see why they say that is because they had the 2 mixtapes. Okay, cool. They got the ESPN deal. The first ESPN season, it was, like I said, going hood to hood, state to state, black top, you know what I'm saying, gyms, whatever. They bring the whole hood out. Shaq pulling up, different NBA players pulling up, some NBA players playing in the game. So I'm like, okay, bet. The second season, that's when they started the competition, saying, yo, okay, first, we coming to everybody hood like we did the first season. This time, we had an open run. The open run, everybody from the neighborhood, the city, if you live an hour away, whatever, come to the city. We're going to be out there, show us what you got. We're going to pick the best 3-4 players from that game, invite them to the arena game, like right outside the arena. They had like a tailgate basically with, you know what I'm saying, the black top out there, you know what I'm saying, Streetball. So later that night, everybody come back, everybody dressing different. Like, that was the thing about the culture back then. Like I said, this early 2000s. So you watching on ESPN now, I think the first 3 seasons on YouTube, to see how the people dressed to go to the park early that day. And then they showed us some of the same people later that night in the arena. They done got that hot fresh, you know what I'm saying, got the polos on. So that was dope to see, you know what I'm saying, that era, that culture back then, how we dressed and all that. So at the arena game, we're going to pick the best player to join us on tour, and they got a whole day on in each city we go to. So the Professor and Spider was the most, I think, like the 2 most notable people from season 1. So every city they go to, people seeing them on ESPN, and then they're like, oh, they coming to the city next week. Let's go see them. And then so by the midway in the season, people knew who Spider and Professor was already just by watching them on ESPN. Like, they was going while the show was on air. So I was like, yo, that's dope, man. That's dope. And the Professor won season 1, and Spider won season 2. And I want to say the last highlight I remember of AN1 was probably season 3 when Air Up There did like a 720 dunk, something like that. That's the last memory I think I really got of AN1 on ESPN. I remember that. I think that was the big highlight before the season started. They're like, yo, this dude in AN1 did a 720. You know what I'm saying? So everybody looking forward to seeing that. So that's the last memory I have. And I say after season 3, that's when I kind of fell off with it. Like, they had games, street hoops. I remember playing on my PlayStation 2, AN1 Streetball on my Xbox, man. Like, AN1 Streetball was a huge part. Like, just how people nowadays, they say the kids influenced by Steph Curry and all those guys. I think back then, man, you can make the argument, if it wasn't like a high-profile NBA player, a lot of people was looking at Hot Sauce, seeing what Hot Sauce was doing, of course, seeing what Skip to My Lou was doing, and just enjoying that type of ball. Because like I said, in the NBA then, you can see clips now, bro, how the defense was back then and all that. Like, now it's more spaced out. Kyrie can go out there and dance real quick. You know what I'm saying? You never know who may fall, get shook up. Like, that's more known now. Like, back then, it was like, oh, my God. Like, now it's still, oh, my God, but now it's like, okay, that's the game we in now. You know what I'm saying? You seen what Steph doing, shooting, turning around before the ball, even going to hoop. Like, that swag of AN1 is still being felt today in the NBA, in my opinion, man. And like I said, Kyrie, with that famous, you know what I'm saying, soundbite I got saying, you know, my dad, I had to sneak and watch it growing up from my dad because he didn't want me playing like that then. Now, fast forward now, you'd be scared as hell going out there with Kyrie on the island by yourself with that boy with the ball, man. You never know what could happen. You know, and Iman Shumpert had a soundbite saying, yeah, we remember Hot Sauce coming to the Pro-Am. And when he left, they was calling him Ketchup. And that thing was, like, the first season on ESPN, a lot of people was like, yo, why these guys so talented, but they not in the league? And you had some players, I think that they was jealous of Skip to My Lou, Rayford Austin, because he was the only player from AN1 to get drafted to the NBA still. You know what I'm saying? Still. So they were kind of jealous of him, wondering why they couldn't get in the league and all that. But overall, man, I enjoyed the documentary, 30 for 30. It was good enough, but I do feel like we still deserve a real, you know what I'm saying? It could be just an hour long and one. You could say the rise and fall, you know what I'm saying? Just a salute to them, what they did to the culture, man. Overall, I enjoyed it. So if y'all haven't already, check it out. The greatest mixtape ever on ESPN. I believe you can find the replay somewhere in one of these apps. But, yeah, I enjoyed it overall. We are in the midst of the NBA Finals. It's finally here. But before I get to the finals, I got to salute LeBron James, man, becoming a billionaire. According to Forbes, LeBron James is officially a billionaire. I want to say they said the milestone was he's the first active player to become a billionaire in the NBA. So major salute to LeBron. He joins, oddly enough, Michael Jordan and the great, great Kobe Bryant as the only 3 NBA players to become billionaires. So salute to all those gentlemen, man, black men, paving the way for more black men to follow in their footsteps, man, showing us how to do it, especially LeBron, man, showing us how to do it. And like I say all the time, man, we can say what we want to say about LeBron when it comes to on the court, whatever we see on the court, how we judge him, how we still salute him. You know what I'm saying? We still salute him, but, you know how that go. But off the court, hey, you won't hear no debate from me, man. LeBron is probably on the top of the mountain when it comes to off the court, just his contributions to his neighborhood, to the children, to the young men, like I said, his team, his family. You won't hear no debate from me, man. I believe LeBron James is at the top of the food chain in that aspect, man. Doing it how you supposed to do it, man. So salute the kid from Akron, man, LeBron James. And sticking with LeBron, also salute Darvin Ham, the Lakers' new head coach. We got a brother, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the sideline now. My overall opinion about it, man, we'll see what happens, man. He was the assistant coach to the Bucks, to Budenholzer, all those years while he was in Atlanta. He was the assistant coach in Milwaukee. They got a chip, you know what I'm saying? So when he comes to the Laker culture, get the Laker job, me being a Laker fan, I can say it. Me being a Laker fan, I can say it. That Laker job was not the sexiest on the list. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he walking into. At least he should know what he walking into, man. We got a lot of work to do. Man. Can Anthony Davis stay healthy? What we gonna do about Westbrook, LeBron? We said time and time again, you know what I'm saying? He getting up there in age, but he's still LeBron. I just think, hey, man, just flat out say it. Hey, we gonna cut some of these guys' minutes down throughout the regular season. We gonna push these young boys. And Westbrook, we get what we get. I mean, I said it last summer when we made the decision to get Westbrook. I just don't think it'll work with Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Healthy or not, I just don't see it working, and especially how the West looking now, man. So that was my thought even when we got Westbrook. I didn't even need to see them on the court, not one game. The best I can say is we'll see what happens, but I don't have the best of, you know what I'm saying, not no championship. You know what I'm saying? Clearly not even the play-in tournament according to this year. So got a lot of work to do, man. Darvin Ham, give him some time, please, Lakers. Please, Lakers. Me personally, I don't feel like Vogel should have got fired. If you want to really keep it 100. Like, Vogel did the best he could with the situation. You know what I'm saying? LeBron was out the last part of the season. Anthony Davis was out most of the season. We just never could find a spot for Westbrook. Like, he did the best he could, man. And like I said, though, the way the game go, somebody got to take the heat for it. So, once again, salute Darvin Ham, the Lakers. We got a brother sitting sideline, man. We'll see how it go. You know what I'm saying? And I'll talk about that more as we get closer. Well, later this year, you know what I'm saying, the NBA season. But like I said, finals, we finally here, man. We had the Boston Celtics against the Golden State Warriors, man. At the time I'm recording, Boston leads the series 1-0. They stole one in Golden State Thursday night. But overall, I have Golden State winning this series, man, in 6. And I was about to say 5 before game 1, but the last time I said Warriors in 5, they lost to Toronto, and everybody got hurt. So I don't want to put that jinx on them once again, but I have Golden State winning in 6. And the reason why I'm saying that is really just based on the last series I saw with Boston and Miami. I don't know if Boston is – well, they – of course, it's crazy now saying this after game 1, but I don't know if Boston can keep this momentum going for a full series against Golden State, a team who I think is still trying to prove their dynasty. I think Golden State's hunger to prove themselves as a dynasty may outweigh Boston, young talent, being hungry for their first chip. And it's everybody on Boston, first time to the finals. Al Horford, his 15-plus year career, this is his first time being in the finals. So, but I think overall, Golden State's hunger to prove themselves as a dynasty. Y'all know the first ring where Kyrie and Kevin Love was hurt. They lost against the Cavs the next season. Cavs came back 3-1. Then they made the infamous Kevin Durant signing, and we know how that was. They won back-to-back. And then, like I said, against Toronto, everybody got hurt because I personally feel like if that was a full-fledged, Golden State Warriors that year, I think Golden State would have taken care of Kawhi in Toronto. And, of course, Kevin Durant left. Klay Thompson got hurt in that Toronto series. Pandemic, Klay Thompson was out for 2 years. So, and I said it last season when Golden State, I think they lost in the play-in last season. I said, yeah, everybody making jokes about Golden State. Oh, they not the same Golden State. But I told y'all on the podcast, man, Steph Curry is a killer. Just give him one more person to ride with while Klay Thompson was out. And he made the best of it with the season last year. And until Klay Thompson came back, Jordan Poole stepped up. Draymond Green can still be Draymond Green when he wants to be. I said, y'all laugh now, and look what Golden State at. Now, we could say injuries played a part, of course, because John Morant got hurt, all that stuff. But, hey, man, we here now. Golden State made it back to the top. And I think they hunger to prove themselves as a dynasty will outweigh Boston's young hunger. And I think Steph Curry is hungry for that finals MVP. That really the only – no knock on his career, but that's in the awards-wise, that's the one thing he's missing. And I think he's hungry for it. And like I said, it's crazy coming after Game 1. I know because of how Game 1 ended, which I'm going to speak about. But like I said, I got Warriors in 6. For them to win in 6, they got to lose 2. That's why I don't get when people be like, yo, we got this team winning in 6 and 7. And then when they team lose, people be like, oh, y'all said they was going to win. It's like, fail. We said they're going to win in 6. We didn't say they're going to be a sweep. We said they're going to win in 6. For them to win in 6, they got to lose 2 games, whether it's at home or at Boston, whatever. So if you got them in a sweep, of course you're going to be mad if they lose a game. But if you got them in 6 or 7, you got them losing a couple games, man. So don't go crazy just because it's one game, man. And like I said, how Game 1 ended, I know. Boston won Game 1, 120-108. They stole Game 1, man, with a huge comeback in the fourth quarter. And like they say, man, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. In my opinion, what was the changing factor in Game 1, Boston started hitting threes, Golden State started missing. That's what I got from it, man. Boston stepped up, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, and the biggest contributor was Derek White off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I believe Derek White is a bench player, if I'm not mistaken. He gave him huge buckets, man. Jason Tatum had an off night, but shit, he still gave y'all 13 assists. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't see the ball go in the basket. Let me help my teammates out. 13 assists. You can't be mad at that, man. Can't be mad at it. And they overcame an early Steph Curry craze. Steph Curry went vintage in the first quarter, and they still was just only down like 4 points. So they overcame that. They was down 15 at the end of the third, but shit, in the fourth quarter, the last 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, Boston went on a 40-16 run. So being down 15 at the end of the third and coming back in the fourth, 40-16, hey, man, you got to salute them. Now, it becomes a term of did Boston win or did Golden State lose? I think Golden State got a little bit too comfortable. I think Golden State, that end, like I said, they was ahead 15 at the end of the third. They just let their guard down in the fourth quarter, and shit, Boston started making shots. That's the thing. If you let your guard down enough, hey, this is a 3-point lead, man. They going to start passing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody go find an open man. He will knock down the open threes. If he don't, then that's just how they gonna lose. But if you give enough players open space and an open room to hit them threes, in today's NBA, more than likely, them threes gonna go down. Unless it's James Harden or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, Golden State, they got to regroup, man. Steph, like I said, he had a crazy first quarter, but outside that first quarter, he was kind of quiet. You know what I'm saying? He went crazy in the first, but after that, he went kind of quiet. The Celtics defense were able to get comfortable. Celtics probably been one of the top 3 best teams in the second half of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? They got the best, probably one of the best defense. They got Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. They can play defense. They just had to get comfortable. As you can see within the first quarter and at the end of the game, how their defense just changed up on Golden State. The first quarter, they looking around, they can't find Steph Curry. Steph Curry hitting open threes. By the time the fourth quarter came, it looked very different. And Steve Kerr did have Steph on the bench a little bit too long. When you see Klay Thompson really not in the groove like that, and they just couldn't find a bucket for a minute. I think Curry left Steph Curry on the bench a little bit too long, but he was quiet outside the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? Overall, for a person who should be hungry for another championship and hungry for a Finals MVP, I think Steph a little bit too cold turkey. Like, he was still shooting, but it just wasn't knocking down, man. So that's just how the ball run. I think going forward, though, in this series, this is my thing. Going forward in this series, I think Golden State main players will step up. In terms of Steph Curry, like I say, he's hungry. He knows what he got to do. He got to be consistent, though. He got to be consistent. Klay Thompson going to step up. I got it with that. Not a doubt with it in my mind. Klay Thompson going to get comfortable. I'm expecting a Klay game. I don't know if it's going to be game 6, game 5, game 4, whatever. Klay's going to have a game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm expecting that. Andrew Wiggins continue to play his role. He was a great contribution to the game Thursday night. So Andrew Wiggins he really got to be the X factor. I know a lot of people saying Jordan Poole, and I got Andrew Wiggins being the X factor, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Being the player that was drafted the way he was drafted and traded how he was traded when he got drafted, and finding his spot finally with the Warriors. Can he be a number 1, number 2? No, I can help my team win. I can help my team win. No, I don't got to be a number 1, number 2, but I can contribute. I can put in enough work to help us win. You know what I'm saying? So Wiggins, the X factor. Jordan Poole got to be more aggressive, man. He got to stop all this, you know what I'm saying, regular season shenanigans. He acting like he's still in the regular season. Nah, Playboy, this the finals. And you can see when Steph, like, I don't know if y'all pay attention how Steph and Klay, like, kind of look at him when he does some things, like one play, and then the next time they go down, he redeem himself. He, like, give Klay an assist the next time down. Like, he know when he mess up, because that next play, he's going to – the person who he didn't pass to that was open, he's going to pass it to him that next series. So he learns as he goes, but I think he just got to be more aggressive. And Looney just got to play his role in the post, man, get offensive rebounds. You know what I'm saying? On the defensive end, be a factor. You know what I'm saying? Where you can be a factor. Outside of that, the role players just got to find a way to fit. Do whatever it is you got to do. Be more, especially on defense. Role players, bench players' main objective should be, okay, let's make great defense into great offense. That's why I think the Golden State Warriors got to do their role players. Their main players got to do their main player job. Draymond Green, I forgot to mention him. He just got to be maintained. Like, fam, don't give an unnecessary text, which we know you are, but just don't do it at a time where it's going to be critical at least. You know what I'm saying? So Draymond Green got to be maintained. Yo, if you have an open 3, Draymond, knock it down. That should be their mentality. Like, yo, if you got an open 3, knock it down. If you don't, pass it. And then, you know what I'm saying, make a play like you always make plays. So that's what I think the Golden State Warriors got to do. In terms of Boston, they in the sexy spot right now. They stole game 1 and, like, from Golden State at the new arena. First finals in the new arena. They stole that game 1. They got to be excited. But they got to keep, you know what I'm saying? I think the stat was like before game 1, Golden State players had like over 120 playoff games and Boston had none, which now, like I said, after game 1, the experience factor, it has a slippery slope to it. You know what I'm saying? Boston like, yo, we here for the first time. We here. You know what I'm saying? With Jason Tatum having an off game, but like Draymond Green said, I like that quote he did. He's like, yo, I mean, if you look at the stat, do you really think Derek White is going to – now, if Derek White continues this, Golden State in trouble. But you got to rely on Derek White to do that, Al Horford to be consistent, Jaylen Brown to be, you know what I'm saying, putting in his work, and Tatum did have an off game 1. I mean, I can see what Golden State's saying, but, hey, Golden State got to come out game 2, which I think they will. I think Golden State will get game 2. Of course, by the time you hear this, we'll know. In terms of the schedule, I have it up right now. Like I said, game 1 was Thursday. Game 2 will be Sunday. Game 3 on Wednesday. Game 4 on Friday, which I'm not mad at. So we have the schedule right here, man. If you can see it. If not, you know what I'm saying, just search it up. But overall, I'm not mad at this finals, man. I know we say, you know, Golden State, they haven't been there in a while. It's not the same as how they was going back to back years, because you can make the argument, yo, if Ja Morant didn't get hurt in that Memphis series, who knows how, you know, if. That's all I can say, if. But Golden State found their way back to the top. Boston, one of those teams that have been scratching and clawing for the past few years, They finally made it to the finals. They stole game 1. Like I said, by the time y'all hear this, we'll know about game 2. But overall, I'm not mad. But like I said, I got Golden State coming out in 6 against the Boston Celtics and basically, you know what I'm saying, stamping their dynasty.